Oh, give it up for Kenya, Steve. Give it up for yourselves. Give it up for Spankys Comedy and Take Entertainment that presents and Hampton Restaurant. And oh my God, I was gone for 8 weeks. I left right before Christmas. I'm living the van life. And I just happened to get back in time for this last storm. And I'll get back into what that had me doing in my van for about 24, 30 hours. But for right now, I'm going to say, yeah, my name is Heath, Mr. Heath Womble. I got the Mr. Heath when I was substitute teaching at Tri-County. And with a name like Heath, you have to, you grow up, you have like taglines and punchlines for your name, because people are always like, what do you mean, Steve, Pete, Queef, Keith? Like, no, Heath, like the candy bar, right? It's about 6 inches long, 2 inches wide, always hard, tastes like chocolate. Better when wet, so include me with your ice cream. It's better moist, right? So, and then I became a comic. So with a name like Heath, I was like, oh, I'm like Heath Ledger, but the Joker Heath, right? I don't hang out with jakes and horses. I like to be able to walk around with a good back, you know. That broke back shit reminds me of prison. I don't know if we're ready for that conversation yet. So I come back for the snowstorm and I'm sitting in my van. The van life's beautiful. I've traveled all the way up to Cali now and done mics in so many different cities and stuff, and I came back for this lovely snowstorm, and it just reminded me how important self-love is. And how you need self-love to defeat mental illness, or to help heal mental illness, especially in a snowstorm like that where you're all alone in a van. So I found out to help with mental illness, you use masturbation, right? And self-love. I reuse my t-shirts. I like to be green and think of myself a recycling man. So I make sure they have the creases in them and there's no black lights around me. So no, it's been great traveling around. I've traveled around a lot on my motorcycle, did 24 states. I did 12 of them with my dog on my way back from Austin, Texas, up to Boston. And I don't know if anybody else ever had a problem or loved cocaine or still loves cocaine but has a problem with cocaine, so we're going to stay away from cocaine? Cocaine? Nobody cocaine? Okay. I love cocaine, but I can't touch it anymore. I can't smell it. I can be around it, but I can't touch it. Now, my dog wasn't around those days I had my problems with the cocaine. But he's a rat terrier chihuahua mix, so he talks with a Mexican accent, you know what I mean, and we're down in Austin, we're close to that border where it funnels through. And we're getting out of there, and I kept noticing my dog in my rear view mirror, my Snoopy, going like this. And I'm like, why the fuck is my dog going like this? And then I finally noticed a couple miles up the road, it was every white line on the highway. And thank God I didn't have him a couple years before, because he's got the good connection and we'd definitely be dead. Marijuana smokers, do we like pot in here? Anybody smoke pot? Couple woos? We don't have, all right guys, Friday night, after 3 feet of fucking snow. Release. You're out of work. You're away from your kids, or maybe they're with you. But release. Get silly. Do we like marijuana in here? Do we like drugs? Do we like drinking? We're human, right? I thought my grandparents were stupid when I was growing up, because they were old, and why would they know what marijuana smells like? 12 years old, 13 years old, visiting my grandparents. There's no way they know. So I'd be out in the neighborhood, and I'd be rollerblading around, be riding my bicycle, walking around, smoking a joint. Go back to the mobile home being like, oh, I'm all aired out. My grandmother would walk in the door, sweet old lady. Oh, Heath, you must really want a flapjack. Fuck yeah, I want a flapjack. And these aren't just any flapjacks either, cast iron skillet over a gas stove by your grandmother flapjacks, right? Size of the plate, the butter, the syrup that floods out the plate, and anybody know what a depression era flapjack is? It's just little thin, 1/8 of an inch. It's not like a pancake, that's why we don't call it pancake, it's called a flapjack. It's thin. Flood out the plate with sugary syrup. Get to finishing that, and my grandmother would be like, oh Heath, you must want to put a movie in. maybe watch a movie, just go sit and get comfortable, maybe take a nap. I'm like, fuck yeah. My grandma's, I love visiting my grandparents' house, 13 years old, smoking fucking weed. And then, after the nap, you wake up and I go out and do it again. This was a repeat from Friday night to Sunday. I visited my grandparents till I was 19 years old and went in the army. All right, I had to quit smoking weed. So, fast forward, my grandfather's mother passed away, my great-grandmother, beautiful woman, like 96 years old or some shit. I won't make it that long. I can't count that high. So, we're sitting in beautiful St. Mary's Church. Everybody knows those big, beautiful Catholic churches, right? All the ornate carpentry and beautiful churches and etiquette, right? So we're sitting in there and sitting next to my grandfather. My grandmother's been passed for a while at this point. And all of a sudden I get a nudge. Hey Heath, and he's deaf. He was in the Navy, right? So the guns, even though he was just a cook and he had bottom soda pop eyes with glasses, he couldn't get any other job but being a cook. And back then, if you were the only person left in your town and you didn't go to serve, and I asked him, I'm like, so why'd you take a job as a cook? It was the only job I could get, was a cook on a Navy ship. I'm like, so you went? Yeah, I didn't want to be a loser. I said, back then, if you didn't serve and you were the only one back home, like, that's how they looked at you. Jody. So we're in St. Mary's Catholic Church, North Attleboro, Mass. Big, beautiful church, and I get the nudge, and I'm trying to remember etiquette. I don't want to get in trouble. I'm with my grandfather. And he goes, hey, Heath, talking loud because he's deaf. Do you know why the priest goes over the casket with that smoke? No, Grandpa. Shh, what is it? Marijuana smoke to ward off the evil spirits. And all of a sudden, my childhood flashed back going, my grandparents weren't stupid. They invented marijuana. So, growing up was a trip. It was awesome. Speaking of trips, how about mushrooms? Let's just go through the line of drugs. Last time I tripped on mushrooms, I took what they considered almost a hero's dose. It's 5.5 grams. I was on Austin, 6th Street. I was living there at the time. I was doing open mics all across 6th Street, living as a homeless man. The only thing that separates the homeless comedians from the actual homeless are our notebooks, and we know where to shit. All right? You worry about dog poop around here and stepping in that. When you're in Austin and 6th Street, like, you gotta be worried about human shit. Like, true story. But now, I'm going through this series of events, and I'm like, shit, what do I do? What do I do? You ever get to that spot in your life where you're like, I really need to know, like, what to do next, Lord? Like, give me direction. And I'm like, and the Lord gave me a little voice and said, do some mushrooms. Okay, I was gonna do some mushrooms. 5.5 grams later, I'm in an open mic line for the Comedy Mothership. And I've signed up for it every week for 8 months. But now they're getting really weird and suspicious because I got this smile ear to ear talking about the Joker again. Oh, man. And I'm like, oh, shit, today's going to be the day. I've been signing up for 8 months, but they know I'm tripping my balls off, so they're definitely going to do it today. Oh, no. To wrap it up, we'll go back to the masturbation and mental illness. Obviously, if I'm doing comedy and I'm talking like this, I'm a little off, But I found, like, when you do that self-love and you're single like I am, there's ways, like, if you're angry, that's the way you do it. If you need to beat it out, you really like, right? If you're feeling loving, you might get the candle out. I like Bag Bomb because it has dual use, right? Works on my calloused hands. So, like, it's not as rough, right? But it helps my calluses on my hands. So, and it really helps when you give yourself the self-love. Now, in the van life, I started out in a minivan, this is where I'll close out, is I noticed going from Planet Fitness parking lots and having this big panoramic window, that these perverts will show up with these silly blue lights and these big black flashlights that look like dildos, and they'll shine them in your car, and that's when I got busted. And now every city I go to, I have to knock on a door. And they say, yeah, I got caught, and now I'm on a list. But anyway, give it up for everybody here. Give it up for yourselves. Welcome Steve back to the stage. Thank you all so much. and have a great night.